All right, welcome, candidates. Come on up. You are mic'd up and ready to go. All right, so I am Kevin Clark, moderator for this candidate forum. We're joined today by County Commissioner Rhonda Markum and challenger Clayton Estus, Republican candidates for Public County Commission District 3. A map showing the district boundaries is on the screens. Each candidate will have 90 seconds for opening and closing statements. I will ask prepared questions with the candidates rotating going first. They will have 90 seconds to respond to each question. We will begin with a 90-second opening statement from Commissioner Markum.
Yes, I'm the current county commissioner. I've been your commissioner for about 3.5 years. Before that, I worked in the office for 8 years under two different commissioners, Mr. Bradley and Rocky Blazier. That's where I gained the experience of my county training. I've got over 190 hours of county government training and over 120 hours of my road scholarship, which is learning about the roads and so forth, of the materials and that kind of thing. I've enjoyed doing this job. I have an open door policy that you can come in and talk to me anytime. You can call me and I will talk to you. And I just would appreciate your vote.
All right, Mr. Estes.
Hi, my name's Clayton Estus, and making my run for county commissioner, and it kind of really all started from when I was a little kid. Always been in the dirt, and it's kind of what I love, and I think that's what I bring to the table. I think I can bring the applied experience. I've got 14 plus years in infrastructure. Everything from roads to drainage to everything below the dirt and above the dirt. Payne County means a lot to me. It's been home. I was born here, raised here, and seeing the rapid pace that Payne County is growing, I think there's a better need for maintenance and use of the tax dollars and how those are applied. And so I think with my experience, doing the work for the years I have, and I've got a lot of people that I can rely on as well. People are resources, and I think I can bring that to the table as well. If I don't know something, I'm not afraid to ask something. And I just ask for you guys to vote. Thank you.
All right, first question goes to you, Mr. Estes. 80% of the job you seek is managing the roads in District 3. However, the other 20% of the job is important and complex. Without using or alluding to the words roads or bridges in your answer, what is the single biggest issue in Payne County, and how do you propose to address it?
Well, I don't really necessarily know of an issue, but there's a lot of hats that a county commissioner wears. Just the budgeting with all of, emergency management, all of the funding within the Payne County administration. You've got from the treasurers, they approve the budgeting for all of that as well. Yes.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. 80% of the job you seek is managing the roads in District 3. However, the other 20% of the job is important and complex. Without using or alluding to the words roads or bridges in your answer, what is the single biggest issue in Payne County, and how do you propose to address it?
Well, I know one of the biggest deals with District 3 for sure is all of the subdivisions that are coming in and all the building going on over here. This side is getting a lot more than what's going on over in District 1. That leads to a lot more traffic. So, and also drainage issues. So that's one of the big ones.
Second question goes to you, Ms. Markum. Here is the only roads question I'm going to ask. So what makes I'm sorry. Let's start over. So make the most of it. We have both driven around the county and used county roads. What are some of your priority projects?
Priority projects. Well, I have projects going right now, but there's other priority projects that the asphalt roads that are already existing that are old, they're needing to have a lot of work done to them and bring them up to standards. When they were built, they were not stabilized with like the stabilization that we use now. We use a cement slurry to stabilize the base, and build those bases up, and they hold up a whole lot better. That's the biggest problem I see is the older existing asphalt roads.
Can you give us a couple examples of those roads?
80th Street down by between Sanger and Country Club, Country Club South. Country Club pretty much from around 32nd going south is all needing to be redone. There's 44th Street going east to 177, 68th Street from 177 going east to Meehan. Several of those, they just need to all be redone.
All right, Mr. Estus.
Well, I think one of the biggest issues in Payne County is drainage. I think a lot of the roads fail because of water. That's the biggest enemy to anything. Is water, and that's dirt roads, pavement roads all together, as well as those asphalt roads like Ms. Markum had mentioned. There's Lakeview, 80th, Country Club. Well, a lot of those are compromised because of the water and the lack of ditching in the county. And I mean, that's all the way to the gravel roads very far west, all the way to the south. There's Prairie Road down there, Vinco Road down there. A lot of those roads are in major disarray. And I think it really starts with the ditching as well. I think a lot of the roads could be saved, and the way they deteriorate could be mitigated with better ditching.
All right, question 3, Mr. Estes. We are only one of 9 Oklahoma counties to utilize a budget board where all elected officials determine the budgets and make recommendations to the county commission on policies. Is this a strength or a weakness of our county?
I think that it should be a strength because it gives everybody clarity. It gives an open forum for other opinions to be implemented inside the conversation and ideas on how to make the money go further, inside the different entities inside the county.
Ms. Markum.
I believe it's a strength. I think it's important that all the departments get to have say-so in our policy, how the money gets spent, how they need their money, instead of just the Board of Commissioners deciding who gets what, that you just get this and that's the way it is. I think it's a big strength that all the way from the policy book. They help build the policy book as well, our county policy. All of our insurance, they get to vote on all that instead of just the commissioners voting on it.
All right. Ms. Markum, State Question 847, brought forward by the legislature, would reduce the growth rate of property taxes affecting future revenue for counties and other governmental bodies. Some candidates for governor are even advocating to elimination of property taxes entirely, with no proposals for replacing the revenue. Share your perspective on these proposals.
That's a terrible proposal for the county. The county, from the assessor to the treasurer, all of us, we all benefit. Most of that goes to the schools. Most of your taxes go to the schools, to your public school, to your VOTEC, the health department, and then the county gets a small piece of that too. But most of it's the schools. If this was cut, the county wouldn't be able to function. It's a very concerning deal. I don't think that's the answer to this.
Mr. Estes.
Yeah, no, I can't say that I agree with that. Just like she said, it's going to affect the schools. It's going to affect so many things across Payne County. And the people of Payne County like the services they receive. And at that point, if you take the taxes away, they're going to have to make that up somewhere else down the line. And so whether it's, somewhere else, it might cause another shortfall. So yeah, I think that would be absolutely detrimental to the state.
All right, Mr. Estes, what do you believe to be the county's most important or biggest opportunity?
Well, honestly, the biggest opportunity that I see is Payne County's growing, and there's There's a lot of involvement inside of Payne County, and Payne County's here to work for the people, and I think everyone that comes to this county has an opportunity and a voice for growth. I know that's not really the answer you're looking for, but I really don't have a good one on that. I apologize.
Ms. Markum,
Repeat the question, please.
what do you believe to be the county's most important or biggest opportunity?
Well, that's a tough question. It really is.
That is.
Well, Payne County is growing, and we need to look at how we can try to do a better job of managing, I think, some of that with what's going in. I know we do not have any zoning. I don't want zoning. Most people don't want zoning, but it's something that needs to be, not the zoning needs to be addressed, but there's some things that just with the growth that I think we ought to look at.
All right, Ms. Markum, talk about how you solicit and weigh constituent input as you consider your votes.
Well, I talk to the constituents when I've been out knocking doors. A lot of mine, I put just my flyers on the door that they have information there to contact me. But I also, like I said, I have an open door policy. They can call me at any time to discuss things. They have in the past, and I take great weight in value in of their input of what they ask of me. So.
Mr. Estus?
I think I bring transparency to the table, and I bring applied experience. And I'm not here to sell you on everything I know, but because I'm the first to say there's a lot of things I don't know, but I'm the very first person to say that I'm willing to learn, and if you ain't learning, you're not living, and so I think that's what I bring, and that's what I just try to tell the people. I'm not perfect, but what I can bring will certainly accommodate everyone in the county. Like we said again, Payne County's growing so fast, and I think our maintenance programs have really kind of slacked, and I think that's what I'll bring. Is just hopefully better coordination of the county.
Mr. Estes, the county commissioners serve as the trustees of the Payne County Economic Development Authority. What would you do as a trustee to encourage more economic development in the county?
Well, I guess to bring more economic development, I guess that's kind of an open-ended. Well, it would really have to. It's kind of hard because we don't want data centers. We don't want any of these solar farms coming in here, and that's just my opinion. To me, that's not economic development. We need more businesses inside of Payne County that will help Payne County grow. And I think if we can just get the county body as a whole and the roads into a better standing, I think they will want to self-attract to that.
Ms. Markum, same question.
I think one of the best things we've done with the Economic Development Board is, I know over in Cushing, the county ended up with a couple of lots. This was different years, and it was Commissioner Cabot's idea, but he went to Central Tech. They have a house where they build houses. The carpentry department builds houses, and so he got them to build a house on the lot, and it helped that community, that neighborhood, to start building their houses back where they were kind of starting to deteriorate, and those neighborhoods were going down. And then we sold that house as with a profit, but it did, and that money went back into the economic development, and then we did another one, and we just got through with that one. But that's one of the best uses I think I've ever seen with the Economic Development Authority to do, because it's helped those communities to grow and to build their stuff back up.
Ms. Markum, there have been incidents all across the country of violence and threats at election board offices. How can the security of county administration buildings be improved, particularly as it relates to the election board?
Well, first, if we could get a security officer in there, this has been going on ever since I came in 3.5 years ago to try to get a security officer there at the administration building for the election board. And I used to work the elections. I worked with the election board for over 20 years. And the last several years, it's very contentious with these people. So we need a security officer.
Mr. Estus.
Yeah, I think a security officer, and then maybe even some type of implementation inside of their offices to where there's some type of protection glass that they can talk behind. That way, if said officer can't be there that day and they don't have a replacement, there's still a secondary kind of protection that they can stand behind and still communicate face to face with, and not just be, still have safety for the ladies and people working there.
All right, Mr. Estus, the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act prohibits a majority of an elected body from discussing public business outside a legally called meeting. Talk about the challenges this would present for you as a county commissioner, since there are only 3 members of the commission.
I think it might, you would just have to, could you repeat that one more time?
Sure. The Oklahoma Open Meeting Act prohibits a majority of an elected body from discussing public businesses outside a legally called meeting. Talk about the challenges this would present for you as a county commissioner, since there are only 3 members of the commission. So anytime 2 of you talk, you really can't do that about business outside a meeting, right?
Yeah, and so I think, just simply abiding by the laws of that rule, and using your employees. There can be communication in between, the road foremen, if there's some type of discussion that might be just a day-to-day problem or something. You can transfer between the secretaries on an open platform. It's like an email or something like that, I believe. So other than that, I think just keeping the conversations and the information to open forum meetings.
Ms. Markum.
Yes, if 2 of us talk, it's a quorum. You can talk, like I've talked to the secretary before of the other district. It is hard when you first come in and you're trying to learn the job, what you can ask and so forth, but you can also, there's other commissioners in other districts that you could call and talk to, depending on what the issues are. But you cannot send an email to ask questions. You can't do that. That's still communication. You're not supposed to even talk on your phones like that. So, but.
All right. Ms. Markum, what is something the county has done particularly well in the past couple of years, and what is something that could have been done better?
Well, we've done well with the sales tax, the 3/8 and the 1/4 cent sales taxes that we have. As far as, I don't know, you're talking about the county as a whole, or are you talking about certain departments? We've got all different departments that, the election board has done great for the last several years of getting everything out there to make everybody aware of voting and so forth. There's the assessor that gets out there to assess the properties and so forth, and also he's fighting the with the oil companies where they're fighting over the on their taxes to get them to pay and so forth. But I don't know, what else to say? I mean, and the fairgrounds out there, they bring in a lot of revenue to the county as well with all their stuff.
All right, Mr. Estus.
And so your question was how, can you repeat?
Sure. What is something the county has done particularly well in the past couple of years, and what is something that it could have done better?
Well, I think the county as a whole, they've done a lot of updating within the county administration and body itself. They've updated, the third floor. They are starting to get security in there for the admin building. And there's a lot of growth, going through, like the Expo Center. And there's been a lot of roads, there's been a lot of roads being built. In District 1 and District 3, but where I think they have probably lacked the most is, is just, general maintenance. I think is just kind of where the county has kind of went downhill, in the past 8 years, 4 to 8 years.
All right. Well, we have blown through 10 questions, so we're going to go to the closing statements. I'm going to give you 3 minutes each to say whatever you want to say, as long as you don't cut on each other. So go for it.
You're first.
And it's Mr. Estus first.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here, and I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. As you guys know, I'm not the best public speaker in the world, but it just it's not who I've been, but the issues in the county have kind of brought me out of my comfort zone, and I really think with the opportunity to serve the people of Payne County, I think I could truly make a difference. And I believe the taxpayers deserve transparency. I think they deserve better use of their money, and I think the everyday Payne County constituent can see the issues around Payne County, and I hope for your vote so that we can help resolve them. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Markum.
One of the things that I did when I came in, which part of this was because Mr. Blazier was able to leave me money. When he came in, he didn't have any money. But I was able to upgrade the fleet of the motor graders. We were spending more time working and more money repairing motor graders. And at one point, and it took me almost a year to get the motor graders. I ordered 5 motor graders. And we were down to 1 grader before they showed up. This was in August. Because they were just constantly broke down. I've upgraded the trucks, the trailers. I got 2 new bobtails. We've gotten some rollers and stuff because our equipment was old and it just was faulty. So I've tried to do that so that it was dependable. Right now I'm paving 12 miles of road. I've got 92nd. 68th. 68th is still in litigation. I'm suing those people, but I'm going ahead and paving it, those 2 miles. 56th, and then range from 44th to Western. I'm overlaying those roads, and then also Sanger from Lakeview to McElroy. The Sanger from Lakeview to McElroy was on the quarter-cent sales tax when we passed that, and that was several years ago that it was supposed to have been done. But also with the inflation and so forth since COVID, it makes it hard because what we even get with the taxes, it's not keeping up with what the inflation has done. But I think that we've done good moving forward. It's hard to get work since COVID. It's hard to get people to work, and we've tried, and everybody wants a paycheck, but nobody wants to work. So, and then finding the skilled operators. I have a guy right now that's retired from me, and he came back to work for me part-time to grade roads because not everybody can grade a road. And so anyway, I feel like that we've tried to do the best we can with the amount of people we have. And then we have other things that come up too in the middle of our projects. They were moving a 220,000-pound transformer 2 weeks ago, and they fell through one of my roads. So then that was 3 days that we had to take care out of a project to go take care of that. And then we had a 5-inch rain band that went through a couple weeks ago. We had a big, huge culvert that washed out up there, and we had to take care of that. And when you're that farmer that's having to go many miles around, that means something to you. So anyway, I feel like we've done well. So thank you. I appreciate if you'd Markum for Markum, June 16th. Thank you.
All right. Thanks to both of you for being here today. The June 16 primary election will determine the winner of this seat, since only Republicans filed. The winner will not take office until January, however. The election is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday, June 16th at your local polling locations, with early voting 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. the prior Thursday and Friday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday. The candidates will be available for a few minutes at the conclusion of our meeting.